He's teen heartthrob. Dreamy. What's wrong with that? All right. We are 5 seconds out. We have 2 opening clips I'm going to play back to back because I didn't have time to merge them. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Opener 1.
Why are you still standing out there, Rockman? Come on in. I'm not going to bite you. Come on in, Rockman. Come on in here, Rockman.
Opener 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, Rockman.
Hello and welcome to the Worst Movie Ever Made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind: to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Saxon. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci and Bob Hasek. Hey guys, how are you? And why are we doing The Glove?
Yeah, I want you to call me Rockman for the rest of the episode, both of you, please.
I think given my last name, that should be my title, but
Chris Rockman. Okay, cool, awesome, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. I actually, for work, I've been promoted to editor, but I still do some writing. And to make my job easier, I write about things I watch for the podcast. And I gave this 3 out. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars.
Wow, fuck you.
For a made-for-TV movie from 1979, The Glove with Rosie Greer and others wasn't that bad.
Rosie Greer, huh?
Compared from Roosevelt, it's short for Franklin Delano, I think, right? The nickname?
Yeah, I
Rosie?
just don't remember him really even being in the movie, even though we just showed him in the clip.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm doing great. I'm having fun. Bob, how are you?
I'm overly full. I made a dinner too big for my stomach, and now I'm feeling
No.
gross, and I just want to lay down. But I'm actually I'm glad we did the podcast because it's forcing me to sit up and digest.
Yeah.
Can I guess, was it just
I'm
lean, unseasoned chicken and steamed broccoli?
It was
With
gluten-free
nothing on
pasta. I made way too much.
Oh.
Pasta will do
much
that,
like
man.
all gluten-free things, it's rice-based, so it just expanded in my stomach.
Yeah.
So you're like a bird on someone's wedding day, just like dying in
Yes.
the gutter due to someone's sloppy celebration.
I did. This is the movie that I picked for last week, so it's my
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes,
It just it looked funny and it wasn't. So I'll describe it after the
Right.
bumper.
Hey, Bob's about to do one of his famous movie explanations.
What? Where?
Why, what?
Come on, man, out with it. We haven't got all day to wait.
Oh, just over there.
Right.
All right. Description alliteration is prisoner pummels police with pernicious peripheral. I had to look that one up. I couldn't find a word that meant bad or dangerous. The start with P.
I run into those problems every week.
So
Word
prisoner
hippo,
pummels
rhyme
police
zone,
with
you know.
pernicious peripheral. Everything else I got off the top of my head, but that was the only one. Okay, so a bounty hunter owes child support, back payments, and has a bit of a gambling problem and
Yes.
a consistent earnings problem because he's a bounty hunter.
Yes.
And in desperation, he seeks out a convict that's worth $20,000 bounty, and don't forget that's 1970s money.
Yeah.
And this
So cash
criminal has been caught beating up prison guards with a riot glove, and it really is unclear if he kills them or not. It's a question I have.
One of my many issues.
And the glove was apparently used to beat him when he was in jail. And if you're still listening, that means you've either seen this already or I've described it in a way that's intrigued you. And we're going to talk about this movie for the rest of the episode.
Hey, Bob, real quick. You want to know how much, and Chris, you want to know how much $20,000 in 1970s money is worth today?
74,000.
$161,891.24.
Jesus H.
Damn. Okay.
So that gets you a couple gallons of gas at this point.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw it to you two comments.
Sure.
And remember, my friend,
Poo Poo and Pee Pee on YouTube!
will affect you in the future.
Just like this movie, these comments, I arrange them in such a way that lets them heat up as we go through them. All right.
Movie does not heat up.
It heats up. That duel at the end, oh my God. All right.
It becomes room temp at some point, maybe.
I watched this movie as a kid, and horror back then was seeing a glove go through a car windscreen. It was up there. Next comment. Fuck yes. Next comment. So the glove is a metaphor for their socially criticized interracial homosexual love for one another. Next comment.
That might be giving the movie too much credit. To the bingo
Not-
card.
Hey, so I'm approaching 4 out of 5 now. Not a bad made for low budget TV movie. Good acting on Greer's part in a character built for him. They spent too much time on Kellogg's character development. If you got 90 minutes to spare and can find this, worth watching. Parentheses, the Dutch subtitle version, YouTube is poor quality. And that is all to
So,
save it for this one
that's-
right here.
So I've seen.
I gotta. All right.
Yeah.
Steely-eyed Saxon has his funkin' slacks
Jesus.
on, and everything is coming up rosy. Feel-good Super 70s low-rent genre action with a polyester perfect roll call of usual suspect B-roll supporting stalwarts. Scored to late 70s polyester perfection by prolific low-rent composer Bob Ragland, awesomely
Wow.
enhancing the reliable lensing of Wells's ubiquitous former boy toy Rembrandt Grave Year. Take a big cheesy whiff, because you totally gotta smell the glove.
Jesus Christ. I ask this every once in a while. Did you write that?
I didn't. That was there.
No, smell the glove though is a reference to
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. Yeah.
Yep.
I see.
Cheap.
All right, let's throw it to test number 1, the worst of its kind.
The airplane, the telephone, the electric light, the vitamins, radio, and even television.
It's the worst of its kind.
So I did something here, and I'll tell you why later. But Eat
Okay.
My Dust with Ron Howard, an 18. And that's because it got 0 critical reviews and a 36 audience, so I sliced it in half. Keep that in mind, right?
Okay.
The Hunger. Not the Hunger Games, like this is from the 80s. This is David Bowie, a
Okay.
Yeah.
59.
That's fair.
Cat People with Malcolm McDowell, 65.
Oh, God.
I think we had Malcolm McDowell on Tank Girl. Is that right?
That sounds right. Was he the bad guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where could they find that episode, Ron?
www.theworstmovieevermade.com. You can click the YouTube button, or you can hit the Spotify button, and then, or the Google Play, or the Apple, or the email, or the Instagram, or the TikTok.
And since we got you, caress or punch, however you want to treat that subscribe button, you do it.
Yes.
You do it now.
Mhm.
Firestarter with Drew Barrymore. This is like an 84, so she was a child. That was a 40.
Uh-huh.
Hadn't seen that one.
No.
Not interested. Personally.
Yeah.
The Company of Wolves with Angela Lansbury in 86. Haven't seen that one. I have a feeling Bob might have.
No,
Oh,
never
okay.
seen that one. I've seen Firestarter, but
Oh,
that's it.
you know, because it was like an 80s, like what do they call it? Almost claymation-y looking wolf on title, like a horror movie. It just looked like your genre. And it got an 86, so I figured you would have seen it. But you let me down, Bob, just like you did by choosing the glove. An average of 53.6. What did the glove get? And keep in mind the first one.
25.
I feel like it wasn't rated. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
0.
Yeah, you caught on to my clues there. It was not rated by the critics, so I had to slice in half the audience score, as I do, and it achieved an 8.5% because the audience thought it was a 17, and critics refused to review it. So a negative.
I don't think they refused. I think it's a made-for-TV movie, actually, so it wouldn't be in the critical wheelhouse.
Negative
Well, nowadays,
45.1 and worst of its kind.
What, Bob?
Nowadays, everything's streaming. It's all made for TV.
That's the truth.
Yeah, but not in 1970. You know, it misses on the first round, and no one ever picked it up. So
Yeah. Because it sucked.
It looked like a movie. It didn't look like a TV movie.
All right.
Let's throw it to test number 2, though. Ain't that a pitch?
How about that?
Kinky sex.
I can't resist your charm, Danny boy.
Wow! What a pitch! Notice that I'm flexing every single time I take a sip.
Oh yeah,
You know.
looking hot.
Yeah, thank you.
Who's going?
I don't know. Bob, go first.
I was first last week.
I'll do it. I'll get it over the way.
Rob, go
Get it over
first.
with. All right. Victor Hale is a man on the run with the riot glove on his hand and jazz licks on his tongue. It doesn't matter how quickly he's spitting because Detective Sam Kellogg is sniffing, and a boxing glove is no match for a gun.
Damn, mine is so close to that. Only yours is better. I'll go next, Bob, because hopefully yours is better than mine.
Yeah, not really. Go ahead.
Fighting a sympathetic criminal in the city above. Hound dog must choose the gun or the glove. Meat factory killing. Cameo kid. Cameo villain. A boring story about a loser failing at money and love.
Good.
I think we're all about the same here in terms of like, we actually tried describing the movie, so here we go. There once was a convict named Victor Hale who beat up prison guards after getting out of jail. He actually only pops up occasionally like a groundhog. The real star of this movie is a guy they call the Hound Dog.
Hound Dog.
And not much else to say about this pointless tale.
It really was. It was like Napoleon Dynamite before Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
There's no beginning, there's no end. I don't understand it. I fucking hated it. I'm going Rob with a 4.
Yeah, I agree. Rob 4.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob 4.
All right, whatever. Fuck you. Test number 3, the most offensive.
The sky to which she had once looked was now only a covering for her
diarrhea. The most offensive.
All right, we count down from 5 to 1, the 5 most offensive things that I saw, and then we'll ask for mentions, of course, at the end in case I missed anything. And you guys usually correct me on something. One destruction of police lieutenant's property. Number 5. So yes. Kellogg is learning about the glove. It's a riot glove, right? And he decides he's going to put the thing on and just smash the guy's desk. Destroy it. Didn't clear it off either. Just like all the papers and cups and whatever else was on the desk, he just like throws his hand through. Thought that was pretty funny.
That's pretty good.
Number 4. Dropping daughter at daycare, driving off before she dips through the door. I hated this. He dropped his daughter off at school, and she's just out on the sidewalk, and he drives off.
Bye.
Don't really care what you do.
70s, yeah.
I guess.
Stranger danger wasn't a thing yet.
At least Torgo didn't take her backpack.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, that's funny you say that. Tune in later. Number 3, and this is just my opinion, and I think Bob agrees, but not a noteworthy narrative.
Pretty much my worst production.
Yeah, just don't make a story that I don't give 2 fucks about. I don't give 1 fuck. I don't have any fucks to give. I'm all out. Number 2, black people bleed black. If you notice in this movie, the black people who are beaten up by Victor Hale, their makeup is just black wounds with black streaming blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why that is, but that's not true.
Yeah.
I hate to have to even say that, but
I didn't even. I thought never occurred to me. I did. Yeah, I just thought it was bad prop blood because there weren't really many white people getting wounded in this movie.
I wonder why that is. All right, let's throw it to number 1. This is our first clip of the day, and it's a pretty funny one. This is workplace harassment.
Harry? I know Harry. Harry Iverson, yeah, he has the bail papers. You can work out your own deal with him. What's this? Honey, when are you and I gonna get it on?
Never.
Oh, never. You know how to break a guy's heart. Come on, business.
Come on,
dude. You gotta shoot your shot, you know?
He's trying to shoot his shot, but she's not letting him, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't do that. I don't know about you guys, but you don't, Rob, you don't go to work, but, Bob, you don't go to work and, hit on another teacher.
No.
You know, because it's a professional atmosphere.
It wasn't even his job anymore. That was the worst part.
Yeah, that's true.
He was a guest.
Well, so that's less offensive then, because it's not workplace harassment. It's just like some guy at someone's job gassing them out.
Right there. But it seems like a relationship where she's just absolutely fucking annoyed at this point.
Yeah.
Because he advances like every time he sees her.
Yeah.
And she's just like, no, thank you. Go away.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you have. You don't have any money anyway. Stop offering me money for sex. I'm not a prostitute. I'm just working here. And my boobs are nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got. You guys have any mentions?
I do have 2 mentions for most offensive.
Ooh. Yeah, shoot.
The first one is his parole officer, not parole officer. What do you call it? The bail bonds guy.
Yeah.
He calls the 2 gay guys 2 pussycats, and I thought that was a little offensive.
All right, yeah,
that is offensive.
And
I missed that.
And then this is not really offensive, but Rosie said it. He said this raccoon caught himself a hound dog.
That's true. He did say that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it again, but that's not usually a word you describe a black man as.
No,
in this day and age.
Is this technically based on the only other Rosie Greer title I'm aware of? The thing with 2 heads. Is this in the blaxploitation wheelhouse?
Just going on opening song. Yes,
I'd call it more exploitation than blaxploitation because this is barely starred a black cast. And blaxploitation famously stars mostly black.
Got it. Okay, so that's the distinction. Okay,
I think so. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, Rob, why don't we throw it to your ad read?
Oh boy.
Hey, Rob, this guy wants a peek at your goods.
Permit me to see one.
Bring in the big one.
Rob's ad read.
So bear with me because the producers may have jumped the gun on this one when they handed me the copy. I'm doing a blind read of this.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
Well, gather round, folks, and let old Prospector Pete spin you a yarn about a fella who left his dusty hometown for the big city life. Now, this here gent had a peculiar talent, not for gold mining, but for taking care of folks' dirty business, if you catch my drift. One day he gets a hankering to return to his roots, something about a high school reunion, calling him back. When he arrives, he got a mind to reconnect with an old flame who never did leave his heart. Trouble is, his return ain't as simple as panning for gold. He's got other varmints on his tail looking to settle scores of their own. There's plenty of shooting and hollering as he tries to balance old friendship with his current line of work. The town's a buzzing. Folks ain't sure if he's a hero or just trouble on 2 legs. But through all the ruckus, there's a heap of soul searching, reckoning with past choices, and maybe even a shot at redemption. And that's the tale of Grosse Point Blank, a wild ride through the crossroads of a man's past and present with a touch of romance and a whole lot of action. Tune in next week to see what all the hullabaloo's about. So, I don't know.
I really hope that we had 4 people just hop on and vote against you. So that is invalid, but I doubt it. Okay, thank you, Grosse Point Blank, for that.
No, that's Prospector Pete.
Oh, thank you, Prospector Pete, for
thank you, Prospector.
Yeah, well, that's very kind. What a nugget of gold you found there. That was quite an ad read. All right, let's throw it to test number 4. This is the worst dialogue.
When I heard this dialogue, I thought,
how can any race be so stupid?
Well, so what we do here is exactly what it sounds like. We pick the worst dialogue from the movie, and then we compare it to the worst dialogue from movies past. Our current season champion is Manos, so if you stick around and hear a movie comparison, you will hear us talk about whether the dialogue from The Glove is worse than Manos. So check this out. We'll start with number 5. This is I Knew.
See, I knew that you were not a scary guy.
Didn't he mean cat, but he couldn't say that because he calls him a hound dog? Maybe.
You're not a scary guy.
That you were not a scary guy. I fucking hate this movie. All right, number 4. This is Stratton Girls.
Hi, I'm Susie. I'm Mickey. I'm Roxanne. I'm Nadia. And we're Stratton Girls. You know, that's our valley down there. We know every tiny street in it. And for over 20 years now, we at Stratton Realty have been serving you good people. Selling homes that couldn't be sold and finding dream houses you thought never existed. We guarantee results. Just look for the big smile and remember, from Ventura to Magnolia, past the Hunger to the sea, if the valley's what you want in town on Stratton Realty.
Terrific. That was just terrific. Girls, that's sensational. That's the best rehearsal we've had so far. Look, we'll shoot it next week, okay? You can go now. You see what I mean, Herb? You put a little sex in an ad campaign, you can sell anything. Herb, I'll see you back at the office. Okay. Go ahead, sweetheart.
The sex was that their shorts were short?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're wearing the same shorts that all guys did in high school gym at the time. So
Yeah, when they're running up the bleachers and their nuts are flopping out the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that seemed like just a time waster to me. That seemed like they had to make the TV movie 90 minutes. So they were like, what are we going to do here? I just don't understand why Stratton is a part of the movie at all, really.
Because the gambling?
It's because they had to somehow show his gambling problem. And it was
Which
a really
they do,
lazy
but...
way of doing that.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, taking the case itself was a gamble. Huh?
Also, didn't he took a case for that guy, right?
Yes.
His hot tub friend was writing bad checks or something, right?
No,
yeah, I think it was
the old lady.
Yeah, you're right. It was the old lady. Yeah, which is just it's just funny that they needed a bounty hunter to find her.
Yeah,
she's so elusive that they needed the bounty hunter to get the money. All right, number 3. This is a real short one. This is biorhythms.
Is it short? I think it's a minute.
Is it?
I mean,
what? Maybe I got it wrong. Yeah.
Sam, if you'd like to cash a check.
No, Warner, I kind of think my biorhythms must be off. Something like that.
I got to admire you, though. You're one guy.
Yeah, because you gave... All right.
Did I give you like an extra minute?
You gave me like an extra minute, yes.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, I just wanted to highlight the biorhythms thing. My bad.
Okay.
I must have... You know what it is that most of my clips don't stay on the same like numerical value for like the same minute, so I probably just added a minute out of habit. But yeah, I really enjoyed how he mentioned his biorhythms are off, and that's why he's not going to cash another check. That's why he's bad at poker. That's why he has a gambling problem. I don't understand. And then the fact that everyone found that hilarious, I also didn't understand.
Yeah. Who knows?
Everybody's laughing. He just told a joke, and he just like sinks deeper into his depression in his seat. Yeah. After he says it, he's like, guys, I'm just not feeling the vibes tonight, and they're all like, he's like, fuck, okay, I guess I'll just kill myself. All right, number 2. These last 2 are amazing. This is The Switch.
Yes.
Just really tell me more.
Oh, your prostate. Yes, well, I'll tell the doctor, indeed. Anything else? All right. Hang on a minute, please.
What is this? Romanian?
No, that is shorthand. Let's see. Mr. Steamboat Jones called. Your associates really have colorful names, don't they?
Miss Wright.
What?
That's wonderful and marvelously subtle perfume that you're wearing, Miss Wright.
I'm so glad you like it. You know, you've been with us 4 months, Mr. Kellogg, and you're 3 months past due.
The perfume was very expensive.
Oh. I'll be right with you. Harry Iverson called to say that he has the papers on Victor Hale.
Oh, yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Let's see, what else do we have here?
You wouldn't be free for dinner tonight, would you?
Yes. Oh, but you're not.
I'm not?
Sheila called. No. She wants you to be ready at 7:30, if you still want to play.
I'm sorry, Miss Wright. I forgot all about that.
Oh, well, Sheila didn't. Can I ask you something personal, Mr. Kellogg?
What? My life is an open switchboard.
Okay. What exactly is a bounty hunter?
A bounty hunter, according to an 1872 ruling, is someone who can do certain things that the police can't.
I am the dog, the big bad dog.
So he bought a perfume then, right?
Yeah. With
So
the
this
alimony
dude-
money he's supposed to be paying his ex-wife and daughter.
Yeah, exactly. This fucking
Yeah,
bounty
and he-
hunter is on the hunt for booty. He's a booty hunter more than he's a bounty hunter.
From someone who's consistently broke. He invited her to dinner. That's not free. Like,
That's true.
like, where's he getting this extra coin from? And she
The-
even called him on not paying his bills.
Maybe he's a distant relation to the Kellogg family that makes cereal, and he gets a royalty. or something.
He's the heiress.
Who knows? But he bought her this perfume. He's trying to take her out, but I love that she says yes until she realizes that another woman wants to play with him tonight. She would never have said yes if that was the condition. But they start the sequence in an attempt at comedy, I believe, because she's talking to someone about their prostate, like she's a nurse or something. Why in the world would this person working the switchboard be told about a guy's like prostate issues?
Yeah.
Just for comedy, I guess. But they continue the dialogue like without the pause for laughter. So I really didn't understand that at all. But speaking of butt, here's number 1. This is Sniffin.
You know what? Fuck it. Sniffin?
I don't know. Sniffin.
I just called you to say goodbye.
Now, wait a minute, Victor. You can't go. Listen, we haven't even met. Besides, for $20,000, I'm going to be sniffing and licking for as long as it takes.
Oh, sound like you really mean that. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You want me? You come and get me.
Delighted. You got an address?
1400 North Grand Avenue.
I'll be there.
I'll be waiting on you, hound dog. Sitting and waiting.
Sniffing and licking every chance I get.
It's like, oh, you sound like you really mean that. It's like he's they're gonna hook up. He's gonna eat Rosie Greer's ass. That's pretty much what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
All right. Unless you guys have anything else you want to mention for worst dialogue, we'll move it on to test number 5, the worst production.
How are you gonna make this movie?
Shooting first and asking questions later.
So I alluded to this earlier about my worst production of this movie, and my tagline is it is a closed circle of a story.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll come back to that in a second. But my first question I had when I was writing this segment was, who is the sympathetic character? Like, a story has to have one.
Right.
And is it the bounty hunter who can't make child support payments because he's a bounty hunter? Like,
I believe that's what.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be Rosie Greer, the prisoner, who was unjustly beaten? But
yes.
he goes on a murder. He goes on a murder
so they
spree.
cancel it.
That takes away that. And then is it the woman who lies and cheats for a fur coat, only to leave a guy because he's involved in risky behavior? Like, sure,
it's got to be him. It's got to be the bounty hunter.
There's some street justice that ties some things together at the end, but really, the story didn't need to be. It was a closed circle. It started and ended at the same place, with nothing truly changed in between.
I guess the real sympathetic character is society. Oh,
but is it? Because what society? What do you feel bad for? The fact that he's making money off of killing potentially innocent criminals,
right?
Or, criminals that have he killed. Well, he didn't kill Rosie Greer, but he killed the first guy when he was just supposed to bring him in. He killed Rosie Greer, even though he was supposed to just bring him in. So there's no justice. It's vigilante.
It's just like whatever the means to an end is, they pay him anyway.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe Rob, maybe, but that's like saying the villain in Bambi was the dangers of the forest.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. No, it's humankind. I think. Which is the enemy always.
Yeah. You know what?
All right.
Tom Waits once said, "If there's one thing I know about mankind, there's nothing kind about man."
I mean, that's
basically watching this. I didn't learn a thing about
Yeah.
society being worse. I didn't feel worse for society. It was like nothing. I didn't learn anything. I kind of already knew what how the world worked at that point. And
Yeah.
I didn't. My mind wasn't changed at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. Literally nothing.
I was like, hey, he's in the boat with his daughter again. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to test number 6, the worst acting.
The saucers are up there, and the cemetery's out there. But I'll be locked up in there.
It's the worst acting.
Number
1, Daddy.
This TV set.
Mom says you get germs when you do that.
Mom says. Come on, get your things.
I don't want to go to school. Can't I stay here with you?
No, you won't learn anything here.
Want to bet?
That's a sucker's bet. You don't make sucker's bets.
But you always make a circus bet.
I love how
You
she
told me
calls
you
him out
do.
immediately.
Yeah, she does.
You can't hide who you are. Lisa knows what I do. We don't talk about it, but she knows. Lois knew too. It wiped out our marriage.
Daddy, can I tell you something?
What, honey?
You promised me you bought me one, don't you remember?
I remember. I'll buy you a TV set for your birthday, okay?
Like fun, he will. With what money?
Yeah, seriously.
Gadzooks.
Those things are like $500 probably.
Yeah.
And that's why he's got to take in Rosie Greer.
Yeah.
This is why he's the sympathetic character in the movie, because
Yeah.
he's got to provide for his daughter, and he's doing the best that he can.
He's got to provide her food and television sets.
Television. Did she say that that'll give you chins? The daughter to Kellogg, like as in like
I think germs.
Oh,
I thought she said germs because he's swigging out of the carton.
Something, yeah.
But it was his own carton of it was.
Yeah.
It was like Sunny D. It was a carton of Sunny D.
Yeah,
or like
It's your own biosphere that you're living in. I think
his own. What his own his biorhythms.
His
I had to refer to the notes. I had to refer to the notes.
His own biodome he's in. I wish we could even plug the podcast with that one, but that one's not available. There's a little teaser. If you really want to hear biodome, let us know. But yeah, I just felt like child actor period, like pretty much always bad. And then the actor that's acting with them has to kind of sink to the level with them just to accommodate, and it's just never a good thing. It's hardly ever a good thing, I should say.
Yeah.
Number
in these movies especially.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah.
No, I just said in these movies especially, the child actors are no good.
Yeah.
All right, hit us with that too again.
I just changed the tab over. I had 1 second.
Aptly named. This one is Hound Dog.
Was it? How nice of you to call.
Listen, man. I don't know what the story is or where you're coming from.
Well, let's get it straight. I have no business with you, so leave me alone.
Well, man, I really can't oblige you on that.
What's in it for you, Sam?
20 grand. I really need the money, so there's nothing personal, you understand?
Just stay off my scent, hound dog. I'll be gone in 36 hours.
Oh, come on, man. You're not gonna leave. You're putting me on.
Frankly, I don't care what you believe, but I'm telling you one thing.
You better stay out of my way. I am not going back to jail, and I have a job to do. The police don't know where I am.
You better hope to God you don't either. Hear what I'm saying, hound dog.
Yeah, I hear you.
He sounds like he's jerking it on the. I mean, when you're watching it, it's clear that he's not. He's like, "Oh, you're putting me on."
Yeah. There is something,
slimy.
there is something homoerotic about the relationship between these two, for sure.
Yeah.
It
It's
also
all the
sounds
sniffing
like
and licking.
It sounds like John Saxon goes for a jive talk when he's talking to him.
Yeah, that's true. That should have been an offensive, but that's true.
And
it's
that-
like it's a goal every time he's around.
It's kind of it's like a globally offensive thing in this movie. Is he just keeps doing it?
Oh,
He's
I'm a be
sniffing and
sniffing
licking.
and a licking. But really, it was Rosie Greer's delivery of "Alone." Leave me alone, which bothered me so much in that clip. But the worst acting, I think, in this entire movie goes to one of our basically cameos, and this is the love interest in the movie. This is number 3. Come over now.
Oh, man. Tell her to bring an ambulance.
Sam, what's happening?
Call the police.
Right, come over now. It's in the alley. Come over to 416 Sherman Canal.
Awful. I feel like she's as bad as the music is acting there. The music is also completely awful and just not doing its job.
You didn't like that one note dirge in the background.
That's something I would make a garage band for a fucking bumper in season 2, and we're on season 14, episode 14. So
with a special 9th episode, so we could do the glove because we lost count and we only used to do 8, but we're on our 9th.
Hey, what do you get with 2 gloves? You get 10 fingers. We couldn't do 9 episodes with.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Think
That's
about that,
that's airtight logic right there.
Thank you. Yes. If the mitt fits, as they say. How about we throw it to fact or no fact?
Break them open there, Joey. Big card player, are you?
1 second.
Okay, that guy's face is so douchey. He's the cowboy playing cards. He's like, big card player, are you?
Yeah, he was.
All right, fact or no fact.
You didn't come here for crappy poo-poo facts like this.
The parts of a flower are so struck that very, very often the wind will cause pollination.
It's like our intermission.
If not,
We need consistent runtime on our episodes. This is what I'm doing for us.
If this wasn't my segment, I'd be going to fill up my water right now.
No, you came here for some stone-cold facts from Bob, like this one.
In my land, women are for advancing the race, not for fighting man's battle.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's my turn to talk. Fact or no fact, this week I just called G-Love and Special Sauce.
G-Love and Special Sauce.
Reference to G-Love, as G-Love is in glove. And in fact or no fact, I really had to dig once again to find things about this movie that were real, enough that I could throw one in that's not real and see if you guys could figure out which one it is.
Well, so, are you angry with yourself, Bob?
Yeah, a little bit. I was at first, because at first I found a death count, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'll do something with the death count." But every one of them said like questionable.
Yeah, not sure.
Except for the guy that was shot in the chest. The 2 guys that were shot in the chest.
Yeah.
Everyone else was like, "Are they dead or not?"
Right.
They stopped screaming, but it doesn't mean they're dead. Anyway.
No, that's true.
I called this the winners and losers edition because I'm going to read you 5 things that were associated with people in this movie, and only one of them is made up.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right.
First one was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor. Second, nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Third, placed 4th in the Miss America pageant. A 4th one, won a Golden Globe for New Star of the Year. And 5th, played in and won a Super Bowl.
All right, well, I know. Wasn't Rosie Greer like a linebacker or something? Or like some sort of tackler guy, football guy?
Yeah, he's like a gigantic man.
Yes.
And he was a football player. That doesn't mean that he But
I know, but
he must have had popularity due to success, I assume.
It's
Not
that's what I'm thinking. Is like you don't get like movie deals after a football career if you weren't like moving units, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like there had to be
on
something.
The football field.
Yes. But like I'll give that one possible truth. Golden Globe for New Star of the Year. I mean, didn't say best acting. It just said, "Oh, he's the newest." Here's a gold star for being the newest actor at the time of this. I know that's not what you meant, but that'd be funny if they did that.
That would be. Placed
be really fourth
funny.
in Miss America pageant. I mean, like, A, that's not that impressive, and B, you don't need talent for that. You just need to like be hot and answer like, "What would you do with $1 million?" question, right?
Yeah, you just don't.
Like, world peace.
You don't say like, world is the answer. Have you seen the Mario Lopez interviewing the blonde chick video where she like has no idea what she's saying? It's fucking cringe amazing.
Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress and nominated for Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor. So so 5 and 1 I'm saying are fact. I think Rosie Greer he had the star power from all his footballing. I don't disagree with the place fourth in Miss America. I don't know who it would be, but probably one of the babes.
Yeah, which one? Because I don't remember those in this movie.
I don't know.
Titscope was completely inactive.
That's because they wear shirts that like button all the way up to like their chin.
Yeah, but like glove, the love glove, got me feeling like there's something going on. And there's this chick that hooks up with Rosie Greer, and that's it. And you don't see but a quartered cheek. It's just aggravating.
Well, they didn't win the pageant like from this movie. They entered in something separate, Chris.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna go Best Supporting Actress because there's no fucking way.
Okay.
Come over now.
The Academy Award for Best Actress, right?
Yeah, Best Supporting.
Yeah.
Actress.
We're doubling down, baby. Last episode of the season, that was my pick. I'm not going to increase our odds. I'm going to plummet them. Let's do this. We have a 20% chance.
All right, I added. So I'm going to tell you the people's names that were associated with these things and the years, and that might open some eyes here.
Okay.
John Saxon. He was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor in 1966.
He's pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's not bad. Yeah. He gained popularity when he was in Enter the Dragon, which he almost didn't take. But he was this was way before Enter the Dragon. He was already in stuff.
All right.
Joan Blondell. Do you recognize that name?
No.
She was a famous, super famous person in the 1930s. So who did she play?
She played the Bounty.
She played the old lady. That's right. She was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 1951. She placed fourth for Miss America in 1926.
This is classic Bob Foolery.
Fuck yeah.
And John Saxon did win a Golden Globe for New Star of the Year in 1961.
So Rosie Greer never won a Super Bowl.
The Bob Foolery is he played football in the 50s before Super Bowls were even a thing.
Holy shit. That's not the only Bob Foolery.
I thought all these things applied to like the time the movie came out. So there goes.
Yeah. Me too. You would think that, that the relevance of the stars at the time would be something Bob would consider, but entire Bob Foolery palette here.
This was hard work.
Every flavor, every color,
whiffing and sniffing your way to victory.
Finger painting Bob Foolery to paint a portrait that was impossible for us to find.
Lickin. we used to make fun of my grandfather was of the Greatest Generation. He was born in 1919.
Yeah.
He used to always tell us, "You're gonna get a lickin' for that," and we used to make fun of him endlessly. We just he would be mad and we'd just be laughing.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't sound super threatening.
Yeah.
You gotta have something of a wild tongue to really scare me with that. None of it.
And he was not a violent person. Let's just say that he was not going to give us a licking anyway.
Right. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Sounds like a stable home. I'm glad to hear that. All right, let's throw it to the catch-all.
This gives me a plan.
Time for the catch-all!
In my opinion, the opening song is real bad. You can't escape from the fistful of rays from the glove. It's like really, really bad. I know I mentioned it already. I probably cut out, so no one's going to be able to hear my amazing.
That was clear as day. That
really came through.
Yeah.
Oh, did it? Oh,
yeah, it's operatic.
Fuck, my first win. Okay, go ahead, Bob.
The daughter driving, you know.
Yeah, not great.
Not great.
Not safe.
Like I wasn't a whole lot older than her younger than her in 1979. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. It shouldn't happen.
Was this pre shatterproof glass? Or what was the kind of glass like modern cars have? Where
sugar glass? Or okay. I thought you meant for the production.
No, like if someone were to hit my car window with a sledgehammer right now, it wouldn't just be like jagged long shards, falling out. It turns into like little pebbles, so you don't get like.
Yeah.
I think that was just for the movie. I don't think.
Okay.
That's how
so it probably was sugar glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The production value is terrible, even for 1979. I mean, there are so many great movies that have come out already, and this movie, just the constant buzz and fuzz that's going on in the background of this movie drives me fucking insane, and I hate it.
Yeah.
See, I went more specific. Mustachioed flute solo in a hot tub.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Do you think that's literally what inspired Ron Burgundy as a character? Because I mean that is so specifically that is such an analogy for Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
Minus the
Those
homosexual.
Who have not seen. If you haven't seen this movie, you only have to watch the first 10 minutes to get to that point. You owe it to yourself.
You really should. It's super funny. I was like, what the fuck? I was ready for a wild ride when that happened. I was like, this movie is going to be insane.
Yeah.
But it did not deliver. There. Yeah, never did it. Yeah.
Okay, so hey, you had a very violent altercation with a guy who failed to appear at court. Let me give you some inside intel on this very dangerous criminal that I'm going to pay you $20,000 to apprehend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. Hey, I've got a Rob trope here.
Okay.
This
Can't wait to
really
hear
is. This is a one last job movie, too.
Yeah.
You know how, Rob, you've talked about these before. It's like the Lethal Weapon. I'm getting too old for this shit. Gonna do the one last job.
Gone in 60 seconds
really
when he's just like, ooh, let's ride. After he said he'd never do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's the guy trying to get the big score. Because apparently it's $161,000 worth of scores, so he can kind of live off that for a while. So yeah, I thought that I'd bring that up. I have a couple more tropes to discuss, but we'll get there.
This is really also specific, and maybe you're gonna note. Maybe you noticed it, maybe you didn't. When the bail bonds guy said, "How could you let two pussycats, beat you up like that?" He said, "How could you let two pussycats?" Then he started laughing and breaking character, and then he said the line again. He said, "How could you let two pussycats beat you out of this?" And it's like they probably should have yelled "cut," and
yes, right.
They just they kept it rolling. I guess just gonna keep it going. And if you watch it again, you're like, they totally should have cut that. Like he was breaking character.
Yeah,
called a pussy cut. Pussy cut.
I thought it was too subtle to put it in the trailer, but it looked like it should have been cut. and
Shit,
then
man,
reshot.
I missed it, but I will not go back because I will never watch any single second of this movie ever.
I will send it to you guys as a text.
All right.
Okay, nice.
I'm down. The musical miming in this movie was about 10 times better than Coyote Ugly.
Yeah, I feel like Rosie Greer can play.
Yeah, I feel like he was actually playing. Or
Yeah,
at least it was like a pre-recorded thing that he played that he was like miming along to, and he like knew it.
Yeah,
he has released albums. He's
yeah. I kind of figured he must be a musician because it looked so real to me.
It's one of those things where it's like they offer him this movie and he read the script. He's like, yeah, but can I play guitar in it so people know I play guitar? It's like one of those like stipulations. It's just like I'll do it, but I want people to know I'm actually talented in some front.
And they're like, you know what? Like if he plays guitar, we can find a way to make him like not guilty and sympathetic.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do a twofer because this is we've kind of already said this, but it would be nice if I got some drama or tension along the way in this movie. Yeah. About anything, and that maybe would just like want to like make a lean cuisine while I was watching it or something, you know? Even though I wasn't hungry, just for like something to like munch on. But I'll go. Here's my real one: meat locker set. Probably not allowed now with health department regulation. I assume can't really be shooting movies around these giant hunks of beef. But back then, it's an easy, cheap set to shoot on if they allow you in, right? But it's kind of a ripoff because I think Rocky came out before this did.
Well, that's why so many action movies always have a massive blowout in a warehouse because it's very cheap commercial space that you could just like do a lot of shit without really damaging the infrastructure.
Yeah, right. You put a Alec Baldwin hole in one of the walls.
You just get a bunch of guys with you get a bunch of guys with mohawks and mullets, and they put a bunch of sparks in the mix, and you're fine. It just like looks cool, you know, some smoke and some sparks, some dry ice.
I was in an extra in a prison scene, which
nice
bears resemblance to a warehouse. And the biggest problem they had with a scene like that with the lighting was very difficult because of just how much space there is. Like we sat around for hours while the lighting crew got things just right.
Okay, just to probe Brandon because we're like flying through this episode. We're almost done. Just because it's a curiosity of mine, Bob. I was watching a show recently. It'll remain nameless because I'll bring it up later. They were doing a moonlit scene, right? And I feel like that must be the hardest lighting to get. Like to pretend like the moon is actually lighting your set. I imagine that's very difficult because you can't actually shoot with just moonlight, even on the brightest of moon days, because it won't come through on the camera. So you have to like find the right setting where it looks like the lighting is dim enough to be moonlight, but light enough that you can see what's going on. And I can't imagine how difficult that is.
I mean, the skin tone, the clothing has to be reflective, but not too reflective. It can't show the color of the light if the light's supposed to be blue. Or it's shooting at night. No, thank you. I wouldn't want to be responsible for that in general.
I can't even imagine. Yeah, but I will talk about the show that I'm watching and the insane production value when we get to what we're watching. But yeah, I was just watching last night, as a matter of fact, and being like, how do they shoot like a moonlight scene? Because like if you go too bright, it looks like it's daytime. It's like like you're at dusk or you're at dawn. How do you make it look like you're at 1 a.m. by the ocean? It just was fucking crazy to me. But anyway, go ahead.
I think this is my turn, but I'm just gonna piggyback on that and just say meat fight. That was great.
Can't beat a meat fight.
You can't beat a meat fight.
I've not seen that much meat fight in a movie before.
Oh man, that's really funny. That's really funny. Mine is Rob. Is your next one meat related? Okay.
I mean,
if not, can I go and then you can go and then Bob can go?
Go ahead. I don't care.
Okay. Speaking of meat fight, Mr. Kellogg whipped out his big bone on the guy and wound up shooting all over his chest. All right, go ahead, Rob.
This movie's also known as The Glove, Lethal Terminator.
Colon?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Title
It
addendum. Yeah, The Glove,
Yeah.
Lethal Terminator.
What the fuck? What are we talking about here? I thought the colon was just a butt joke between Rosie Greer and John Saxon. Anyway, go ahead, Rob.
He has no money. He could barely afford to buy his daughter television sets at her whim. But he has like reel-to-reel tape, which was like for home use was relatively new technology for the time, which probably cost like the equivalent of like $15,000 in today money. Just in his apartment, all willy-nilly.
And obviously used it in front of the love interest to be like, look at this tech I've got going.
Yeah. Listen to me negotiating while the jazz plays in the background. I'm going to rewind this about 150 times. You just wait there patiently while your juice just builds condensation.
He fucking ruins the second date with that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Bob.
Isn't it your turn? Rob just went.
Well, it would be, but I made the boner shot joke.
I was just gonna say, kind of going back to what Rob said before this movie is about as much about the glove as it is about a thing with two heads.
Yeah. That's the truth.
Like
the glove plays very little part.
It's called the glove, and there's like,
yeah,
it really pissed me off.
This may be because I just started listening to the audiobook, erotic detective thriller named Fairfax Facial. I sent you guys a clip to that. But I kind of like the hard-boiled private eye narration that Saxon had over the film, like with no consistency or rhyme or reason. It's just like something how he's like, well, this city will chew you up and spit you out. I tell you, like, where's this coming from?
It's like drops of noir every once in a while. Yeah.
But that was like that was literally half the dialogue was the narration.
Yeah, which
but it
was in and out.
It didn't
work. The first act of the movie was like 90% narration.
Yeah,
that's true. What's heavy? Well, okay, we already talked about that. Here's another trope then. The resigned and somber beach reflection walk, a la Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Where he's just feeling defeated, so he's walking on the beach near the boardwalk with the sun on the ocean, just reflecting on how bad a parent he is, I guess.
Yeah.
Very tropey. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah.
This was in our opening clip. Like the way he invited that boy into his apartment. Holy crap. That was like red flag after red
I know.
flag.
That's why I clipped it. It had to open it that way. And I asked Rob to merge it, which he didn't do, which is okay, Rob. I forgive you. But like I felt like it just seemed like pedophilic. Oh yeah, Rockman. Sit on my
lap.
Strum it, Rockman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a D chord you're stroking. Whose turn is it? Rob's?
I think Bob's.
Rob's.
Mine. All right. So you know how we discussed how $20K is like $100,000 at the top of the episode. Okay, so his first pay, his like meager pay, was $300. So I just looked that up.
Ooh, interesting.
You know how much $300?
I could do this. I could do this
is?
math. 1,505, 1,800 be 6. So 1/6 of 20,000 roughly would be like $4,000.
Nah, it's just shy of $2,500, but still, for context, I have a 3-bedroom in a pretty high cost of living area. We pay about $2,300 a month in rent.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a rent check with one job.
He got a rent check in one job, yet he's 3 months behind on his office space, and he's like even further behind on his alimony. Like, that was one job. That was like an hour's work.
Yeah, seriously.
He's a gambler. This goes to his flaws.
But you know what they don't establish? Okay, well, while we're in the catch-all, he is a gambler, right? They want to establish that because he goes to the poker game. But he was invited for the first time to that poker game. Where is he losing his money?
That's a
What's
lot
he betting
of
on? They don't show him betting on horses.
They mentioned that twice. His bail bonds guy said something about him picking the wrong horses or picking the wrong ponies or something like that. And then the cops said something similar, like you always, have bad odds. Like there were a couple references.
That's true. And his daughter is like, his daughter
called him out.
Crappy bets.
You make sucker bets all the time.
That's true. All right.
Like that's a lot of fucking change.
It's like a bookie got
a lot of money. Dude, I would take the $2,500 check right now. I'll go fucking bounty for $2,500 if I gotta get a guy out of a pool that's got a flute.
$2,500 for an hour's work right now. I would have V-necks without rips in the fucking armpit.
If I had a piccolo playing pool person and I had to pull them out of the pool for $2,500, I would do it no problem. You got it.
Piccolo playing pool person. I like.
The love interest in this movie is by no means 28. If that's what you look like when you were 28 in 1979, then you should look like you're 112. Like same kind of inflation. 28, 28 now looks like 161,000 me these days.
It wasn't until like the early aughts where like the casting and aging was like somewhat accurate.
She's like 44, 48, somewhere in that range. I was like, she's not fucking 28. There's no
And Christopher McDonald was a 27-year-old high school sophomore.
Yeah.
Too.
The goose.
The goose.
Right.
Go ahead,
This
Bob.
should have made it. This should have gone into bad dialogue. I didn't look ahead. The girl that Rosie Greer beds.
Yes.
She goes, I got a bottle of wine, cheap like me. And then he said,
no.
That's one thing I never have to buy. I thought that was really horrible.
Yeah.
But hilarious.
That makes her seem like. So.
I mean, she literally called herself cheap, and then he said, I don't pay for sex.
Yeah. And then
This'll
she
be my last
fucked him anyway.
This will be my last one because I think it's a massive, massive plot hole. Ooh. You saw the apartment that Rosie, what's his character's name? Victor Hale.
Victor Hale, yeah.
He lives in like a projects apartment, right?
Yeah.
And at the beginning, the bail bondsman, Kellogg's boss, was like, "Here's the real riot glove, and here's what it could do." He made a duplicate with his own resources that's just as powerful as the real thing. And that's like stainless steel, high quality craftsmanship.
No, he stole it from the
yeah.
Oh, he did.
He beat a CO nearly to death or whatever, and just took
got it.
I want to say the one the policeman had was a copy, or was another copy of it.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Like the original, and then they were like, "We can do this."
I must have misunderstood. I thought he just like made a duplicate.
I mean,
nothing was clear. Nothing was clear.
I know. Yeah. Honestly, they didn't spell anything.
Like he even
that's
said,
how I interpret it.
Did this guy survive? And they never answered the question. Like it's just like so many questions were unanswered.
Well, Bob, if that was Rob's last one, how many more do you have? Would you say?
Because I already did one that was most offensive, I only have one left.
Okay, so I'm going to string these together then. Why is this long poker scene? Why?
Yeah, that was really overly long.
So allow me to indulge myself. They're literally betting out of order. Which, so in the poker world, it's the person who's dealing. Then the first person to bet puts down the small blind. The second person to bet puts down the big blind. And then the first person to act, then the cards are dealt, or is the person after that. It's called under the gun, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to portray is that each person goes in sequence. You go, the person left for the dealer, the next person after that in clockwise order. They do not do that in this movie, so they don't know how to play poker. Plus, there's something they do in this movie called string betting, where they say, I call, plus I raise you. If you're playing a poker game, you have to announce your intent in one announcement. You're not allowed to say, because of the fuckery that you can do when you say, I call, and then gauge their reaction, and then say, like, either I'm just going to call, or like if you look too excited, then I'm just going to call. But if you look depressed that I said I call, now I'm going to bet more because I have gauged that you don't have it, or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're also not allowed to do what's called string betting. You have to, bet all of your betting at once because it's illegal not to. So they don't know how to play poker, and that pisses me off. Don't focus on poker if you don't know how to play it. And Stratton and his boys and his fur coat girl would know how to play poker. If they're running a game that's rigged, to begin with. But that's my last part. Was it implied that Stratton is rigging the game? I think it was, right?
Yeah,
I
because
think so.
he gave his bitch like fake strategy to give to him. That was crass of me. I'm sorry. He gave his wench his moves.
No, he did, right? Like she gave him a list of like what people's tendencies are or whatever.
Yeah, so basically, if you're playing rock, paper, scissors, and she's gonna be like, that guy always picks rock, so you do paper, but he always does scissors. Like she undermined his.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a good like simple way of explaining it. Nice job.
And
I don't know poker, so that's all I can do.
To your credit, Chris, if you're gonna focus on gambling, leave out the dialogue and just show chips being thrown down and just show someone scooping up all the chips.
Raise, fold,
So someone throwing their cards down. Like, don't put it in the dialogue if it's not important. Like
they very clearly don't know how to play poker. So.
What would you do if he just like looked up and he's like very seriously and intensely like, do you have any threes?
Yeah.
And he's like, go fish.
So my last thing has to do with the woman who was supposed to be the love interest that ended up.
Yes.
So she screwed him out of every penny he had. He couldn't even afford cab fare home. So he's like, this is personal. I got to hook up with this girl. I can't miss out on this.
I'm getting this.
I did not get that. I didn't get that.
No.
Yeah.
Why? Because she was easy to talk to. Like I didn't like that.
He was like, because the girl at headquarters had no interest in him, and
yeah.
Oh, I don't know why is he not just fucking the switchboard chick?
I think it was a low amount of female characters, and they were trying to make a love interest happen, and it was obvious they couldn't.
He should have had like a personal revelation where he he and his daughter go out like camping with the switchboard bitch. That's how it should have happened. Because that would have been his best life.
Camping with the switchboard bitch? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
You are gonna catch the biggest fish. Johnny, we're gonna catch the biggest. We're gonna go out fishing and we're gonna catch the biggest fish. Don't get mustard on your shirt now. Make sure you don't get mustard on your shirt. Do taxi drivers follow you? Do taxi drivers follow you all the way to the door for their money in 1979?
I guess if you have a history of not paying them. And I seem like I have reason to believe he's one of those people.
I mean, he could be, yeah. Same taxi driver, same route.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Victor out here making music with women and children. He is a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep going. I look something up. No, I look.
I got one more. The glove or the gun, hound dog. If it were me, the gun. Now let's go downstairs. I'm taking you downtown.
Yeah.
I'm not putting the glove on and fighting this dude that's like 6 times my size.
Yeah.
I'm going to like fucking hold the gun to you and take you in dead if I have to for that $20,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I found what I was looking for. Back to the inflation and the economics of this movie. It's really been bothering me.
Okay.
When he gets, you reminded me when he gets chased by the cab driver to like pay his cab fare.
Yeah.
He goes to his boss. He goes, "Hey, will you give me $10?" And he gives him the $10 and says, "Keep the change." That is $80.95.
Holy shit! You're right. Where's he?
$80. Where was he just like, I want to look out the window all pensive and stuff for 3 hours. Can you just drive me around the block?
He was in L.A. Nothing is close in L.A. You gotta drive.
Maybe Stratton lives in Vegas.
That's like Uber surge price during rush hour prices though. Like it's $80. I can go to Broadway on like Pride Day on a Pride Day for my apartment, and it'll cost cheaper than that.
Yeah, I have never paid that much for a cab, or an Uber or a Lyft, and never will.
Yeah,
I will drive.
That's all I got.
Damn, dude, and he was on his last dime.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw it to what we're watching.
Sure.
It's all you of Earth
If you're not taking our recommendations, then you're...
are idiots.
Same order?
Me?
Chris Bob Rob?
Sure. So I've been on YouTube watching Fight the Flat Earth. This is FTFE. He's just a Scottish, I think he's Scottish guy who just does videos about people who are dumb because they believe the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
I'm not even this is one of the categories where I'm not even afraid to alienate them because they're such a small percentage of the population, that we're not gonna go back into the wokest movie ever made podcast like I did the other night.
You're gonna feel really stupid when we prove you wrong.
But he does a video with this guy called his name is Nathan Thompson, and he's got the biggest Facebook group or whatever, and it's really funny because Fight the Flat Earth was basically a Navy man for his country. He just went out on boats, and they have to use equipment that relies on the Earth being round for it to even work. So he just really makes this guy look an idiot. So if you're interested. His videos are surprisingly low quality. I don't know what it is, but they're funny. So check him out. Just destroying flat earthers all the time, which I love. The second thing is I mentioned weeks ago that I would be rewatching House of the Dragon because House of the Dragon season 2 is out. And I really think if you're a fan of storytelling and complexity, that you ought to check out Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. I know it's because it's what happened to me with The Nightmare Before Christmas. I wasn't that interested in The Nightmare Before Christmas afterwards because it became so popular that I was all the rage means I won't like it. And so much popularity surrounding a series or a movie will actually turn you off to it.
Yeah.
I get that. But it's actually really quality. Every episode is a little movie, and they do a great job of telling you the characters' intentions without telling you their intentions. Sometimes it's a little obvious for the viewer, which I'm fine with. But you really need to pay attention to the show, and that's what I like. Is a show where I really need to be engaged and just following along every second. And what I want to bring to your attention is something that happens to me when I'm watching certain shows that have that kind of complexity. So Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon is the kind of show that's actually more pleasing on the rewatch. Because watch
you
the
pick
first
up
season of Game
all
of
the
Thrones.
context clues and all that stuff, right?
Right. So I'm watching House of the Dragon season 1 again, and it's so much better than the first time because I already feel a certain way about the characters. But meeting them the first time, I had no attachments to them. I didn't know their intentions. I didn't understand the emotional gradients of every decision they make. This rewatch for House of the Dragon season 1 is making me feel like the show is much better quality than I thought it was to begin with. And that happened to me with Game of Thrones. It's the kind of complexity where you actually need to know their intentions, and you don't on the first one.
They are Chekhov's gunning on a higher level where you see the knife on the table and you're oh, they're going to use that later, but that knife also has something else behind it, and they're
well, that's so fitting for the first season of Game of Thrones. You don't even know. But yeah, it's just true of HBO Max and these two shows. I know Game of Thrones ended really poorly, and House of the Dragons doesn't have the same kind of chutzpah and following that Game of Thrones does. But really, honestly, it's quality television. Even if you're not into fantasy, it's not really about that. It's about human politics. The interactions between people who want to gain power. It's more about that than it is fantasy. And if you can just check it out, watch season 1 twice of either one, and I'm telling you, by the time that you get to episode 9 of your first watch on Game of Thrones, you're going to be into it. That's all I wanted to talk about. I'll pass it on to Bob.
Speaking of HBO Max, I don't have that, but I do watch John Oliver on YouTube. We talked about him before, and I've been watching him a lot lately, and it's depressing.
Yeah, he's good
And fulfilling
It is.
and entertaining all at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 2.5 things. One of them is a half because I fast forwarded through half of it. First one was a doc I was always meaning to watch called The Decline of Western Civilization. It came out in 1981. It's about the punk scene in the late 70s, early 80s.
Oh,
It
yeah,
has, Germs, Black Flag, X, Circle Jerks. Just great live footage, stuff that you would like. I didn't think existed. Like because these people all pretty much self-destructed. Like a couple years after this doc was made, like the guys in Germs, like barely survived the early '80s. Black Flag, same thing. X is the only band that's like really survived. They actually put out a new single this week, which is they're calling it their last album. But anyway, some cool behind the scenes stuff. A fan would dig it. If you're not a fan, I would not watch it. Just you're gonna hate it.
Fair enough.
But then the same filmmaker made Decline of Western Civilization Part 2. The metal years 7 years later. But it wasn't just metal. It was glam metal or hair metal, like Poison and Kiss. And like it was horrible. I fast forwarded through every musical piece because it was horrible. It was about sex and drugs and not about the music. It was misogynistic. It was sexist. It was rapey. It really just seemed like it was all about sex and nothing about the scene. And I felt myself like skin crawling watching this, and maybe it was a good like snapshot of the time, but it was not a good snapshot of the time in terms of all metal or all. It was just like these bands really suck, and I can't tell if the filmmaker was trying to prove that or if they were just trying to document it. I couldn't figure it out.
So you're not a Kiss fan?
Oh my god, I hate Kiss.
Kiss sucks.
Me too.
We should do their movie.
Anyway,
they have a movie. Anyway,
on to an actual movie. I'm trying to catch up on some of my watch list stuff in the last couple of years. And Society of the Snow came out last year. Did you guys hear about this one?
That's fucking. That's the cannibals, the Andes mountain. Yes,
did you watch it?
It's fucking amazing.
It's great. Rugby
the
team
airplane
crashes
that
in the
went-
Andes
yeah, okay,
Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
For 72 days. It's a real story. Originally, it was called Alive in the like 1993. They made a movie about it. It wasn't nearly as good. It's heartbreaking. It's real. It's gritty. It's great. It's really, really good. And it doesn't pull any punches. It's really like realistic and just heart wrenching. Great stuff.
Yeah,
cool.
I recommend it.
I'm totally down because I'm a big like Donner Party fan.
Someone on Letterboxd said if this was an American movie, it would have won 6 Academy Awards, and they're exactly right. Foreign movies are not treated the same way as American movies are for the most part.
That's true. Except for what was that movie? What was that fucking Korean movie? Parasite or whatever?
Oh, Parasite. Yeah. That was
which I saw, which I liked.
I like that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's it. That's it for me.
All right.
I watched other stuff. I'm gonna save for next week.
Society of the Snow. I watched that, Bob, because last podcast on the left did like a 4-part deep dive on like the 72-day ordeal.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's there. That podcast is really good at like breaking up the gory details with humor, so you could actually stomach it.
Recent was that 4 episode.
It's with the new guy that replaced Ben.
Okay. I'll check it out.
But
yeah.
it's good. It's good. It's one of their better like non-serial killer deep dives that they've done.
Yeah, I do
late.
love their heavy hitters.
Yeah, the heavy hitters are good. So I'm getting back into The Bear because season 3 is premiering at the end of the week. I don't know if you guys have watched that. It's
not yet. I'm going. It's on my list.
Basically, a James Beard award-winning chef. Is it James Beard? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
So like a Michelin-rated chef moves back to his hometown after his brother commits suicide and leaves the family business unoperational, and he tries saving the restaurant, and then like decides he wants to open his own restaurant, and like it's this whole, it's a dramedy, but it's panic inducing. Chris, you'll like this. There's a 20-minute episode, and like most episodes are like 40-minute, 42-minute length, but they have one that's like 66 minutes. They have one that's like 20 minutes. There's a 20-minute episode in season 1 that is literally one person against the main character's wishes decides to set up like a tablet for to-go orders and launches it wrong. So like they open shop and there's like 300 orders pouring in and everybody's screaming at each other. If you ever worked back at we used to work at a seafood restaurant during Lent. It was like a Good Friday rush. And a pizza place or a seafood restaurant, everybody just screaming at each other. It's real. It's very. They had to have worked back of house, whoever wrote the show or whoever's in the show,
because they know exactly what it's like.
It's very realistic, but it's also hilarious. I'm worried season 3 is going to be more dramatic than comedic, but because a lot of those kind of shows do that. But
yes, they do.
I strongly recommend it. You could burn through the seasons 1 and 2, and like if you have a couple days off, you could burn through those in like 12 hours. It's not it's not a lot of watching at this point. And then also speaking of documentaries, Geddy Lee from Rush has a 4-part docuseries on Paramount called "Geddy Lee Asks Are Bass Players Human Too?" And
okay,
it's the first episode's him with Les Claypool. The second one's with Robert Trujillo. Most notably playing in Metallica.
Yeah.
But like
he was in
Suicidal Tendencies and Infectious Grooves. And his bass playing in Infectious Grooves is like virtuoso. He's a solid player. Melissa Oftamar from like I think she was in Hole. I think she was in Hole and then Chris Novoselic from Nirvana. And it's just like him just hanging out with them at their houses, like talking about bass. So I was into that for a minute. But yeah, The Bear and then the bass player stuff. Good stuff.
Cool. Nice. All right, whatever. Let's throw it to bad credit names.
Stupid! Stupid!
Bad credit names.
All right.
Okay. I made up 2 of these names. It's up to you to decide who. This is like my little fact because there were no names that were funny at all.
All right.
Darwin Long.
Okay.
Booger Carlson. Arlen Ober.
Okay.
And Styx McMillan.
You made up the
Booger. You made up Booger.
I bet you Booger's real. There was probably some jazz cat playing the music, and his name was Boogie, and they shortened it to Booger as a term of endearment or something.
Yeah, boogers are actually all over the place. I've seen booger everywhere, and that's why I made that name up. Darwin Long and Arlen Ober, the 2. Styx McMillan was the other one I made up. I guess I'll just do that if I have a movie where there's like no credits.
Styx McMillan. Okay.
All right, let's throw it to the offensive minigame.
Sure.
Say, Lieutenant, did you get that funny odor?
How could I miss it?
That's the smell of the offensive minigame.
Daddy Daycare Drive Away or Daddy Duped and Daughters in a Cult?
The cult one, because dropping off, I'm not that offended by that. It was like 1979 or 78 when this came out, right?
Yeah.
And you just dropped your kids off, and then you didn't really care about them until they came home or didn't come home.
Right.
It was just,
yeah. It's like
there wasn't stranger danger wasn't a thing until like the 80s, right?
Barely.
Yeah, I mean, it was the '70s serial killers that like really set it off. But it was probably 1980 around then when they started working.
He's a
on
gambling man. What do you want from him?
I mean, Halloween is like a direct result of the '70s serial killers. You know, like
I reminisced about this about the ice cream truck that used to come to my neighborhood because they had gumball machines on the bumper, and this is before backup cameras. Like, and we used to, of course, get gumball from the gumball machines on the bumper. Like, there was no warning, like, I'm going to drive away. There was no, like, I'm going to back up. We just trusted that we were going to survive.
That he'd hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Blood or Vacay Voyeur?
Vacay Voyeur.
Yeah.
I don't think they were trying to be offensive with the. I think that's just they were working with what resources they had, and they didn't like. They weren't motivated to do it a certain way. I think it was just like, we have this goo. Let's just use the goo.
Sure,
you know,
probably. Yeah. Torgo the Titty Tickler, or Hound Dogging Headquarter Honey.
Hound dogging.
Can you explain
a
that
headquarter
one, please?
honey?
Oh,
Yeah, so the woman that works at the
the
headquarters,
police,
she's like trying
the
to
police
headquarter.
receptionist. Yeah, that was worse.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. 2-1 though. Manos wins most offensive. So let's see how else. Let's see how it stacks up against Manos in our movie comparison.
This gives me a plan.
Let's compare the movie.
Negative 51.4 and worse for Manos, or Hands, the Hands of Fate. The Glove, negative 45.1 and worse. So Manos wins that one. Bob, you had a 4.75 star pitch. Rob, you had a 4. So again, Manos wins that one. We just established that Manos is more offensive. How about dialogue? It's definitely Manos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Even with the licking and sniffing. Low budget production, no budget production, or closed circle of a story.
No budget.
No budget.
Right. Acting, it's Manos.
Manos.
Yeah.
Demerits, police pestering punks, or we haven't established a demerit yet.
Bad glass.
Flute solo.
Flute solo.
Flute solo glass.
What, how did I combine your two? Where Mustachio piccolo playing pool person.
All right, I'm gonna write mustachioed pool playing or piccolo playing pool person.
Yeah.
That's dope. Too bad that won't last, because obviously Manos is the winner of the entire season. I know, Bob, you've already got clips ready for us because you knew from episode 2 or whatever the fuck. Yeah,
that's what I was sitting this week doing. I saw Grosse Pointe Blank in the theater. I've seen it since. I know that movie front and back, so I won't need to watch it too closely.
Well, it sounds like Bob and Rob both enjoy this movie. I haven't seen it yet. We're watching Grosse Pointe Blank for next week. It's a good movie episode. Good job, Rob, sneaking yours through.
Okay. You squeezed the posters on the poll over mine to obscure my cover, and
yes, I did.
You had a 66% chance to win, and I still beat you guys out. And here's some foreshadowing. Bang, 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 popcorn. Bob knows what I'm talking about.
I mean, that sounds really cheesy.
Okay.
I
really
already hate this movie, but maybe it can change my mind.
It's seriously one of my top.
It's
top
highly
5.
entertaining.
It's top 5 movie for me.
It's okay. You remember like Mario in Nintendo 64, like the Super Mario 64 game? You ever play that? You know how like in the regular screen you can like manipulate his face?
Yeah.
You just like click and then pull it. I feel like somebody clicked John Cusack's nose and just pulled it down and just like made the entire center of his face like really thin. And that's
I thought you were gonna make a Dan Aykroyd joke. So, bravo.
I mean, he's ugly too, but John Cusack just bothers me to look at.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well,
so it's like Gina Davis and John Cusack are on equal footing for like guy girl. Anyway. Worst movie of the entire season. Hands, the Hands of Fate. I mean, Manos, the Hands of Fate. Rob, why don't you plug us, and then we'll send it to Bob for his final truth, and then we'll say goodbye to Jelly School.
www.theworstmovieevermade.com. There are buttons on that site that you can click. It's a Linktree page because I don't know how to make a website. And on that Linktree page, you will see links to our YouTube where we have the video version of this podcast in high def, ultra 4K, HD, Blu-ray, all that good stuff. Dolby 5.1 THX certified goodness. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Play, we're on all the big ones, and you could use your third-party podcast app and get us there too. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram. We do polls. Chris and Bob try ganging up on me, but my movie picks are winning. So Chris has to watch Gross Point Blank. Thanks to you guys. That's www.theworstmovieevermade.com. Bob, what's your last words?
Oh, it's got to be biorhythms.
Biorhythms. All right.
And that's a
Let's get out of
truth.
here.
Voice.
And that's the simple truth. That's the final truth.
We love you guys. Thank you for listening.
Yes. Sorry for making you watch this, if you did.
Or enough.
I think it was worthwhile.
Bye, Jelly Scoop.
Bye, Jelly Scoop.